Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Vio, and let's have some fun. I don't know, just talking, trying to do a podcast. So, yeah, today I wanted to talk a little bit about Dora. For those of you who don't know, and I'm guessing that will be most, Dora is my very, very sweet, sweet dog. She is an estimated 6, 7 years old now. So she's a big girl. And I got her when she was an estimated 1 to 2 years old. Now, Dora's a rescue, and she came with a lot of baggage that, for the most part, we've overcome to the point that people cannot even believe that, she used to be different, which has caused a lot of issues because people will go and tell me, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, look at this poor dog. You have no idea. It's like, I know what she used to be like, and I know what it means to be traumatized. So I'm probably her closest bet to understanding, what's actually going on in her head. And yeah, it is very different now from how it used to be. She's friendly, she is a little naughty at times, and she just does everything I ask her, almost everything that I ask her. I can take her wherever. She's very well behaved and respectful for the most part. And so, yeah, it's just great. And if you compare it to where she's come from, where, if I was even feeling annoyed, she would sense it and she wouldn't eat for days. Like, there was just nothing I could do. She didn't like to be touched. She didn't like to be looked at. She didn't like to be walked. Like, nothing ever made fun for her. She was constantly scared of everything. And looking at her now, where she is really starting, where she's at a point where she's testing her boundaries and limits constantly and trying to look, how far can I go today? What is she going to allow me to do? And really testing my patience half of the time. It on one hand it's really annoying, and on the other hand I can't really be mad or annoyed for long because I just know where she's used to be, and so it kind of fills me with pride that she's come this far. But the reason why I'm talking about her today is because I had a pretty strong reminder of her past and how it used to be today. And that's because when we were going on a walk today, there were gunshots. And as far as she's come along, the one thing that we never overcame were the thing that we never overcame are gunshots. I don't know why she's so terrified of them. If it's simply the noise, I can also not use a clicker on her, so that terrifies her very similarly. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why that is. I don't know. I don't know if she was shot at, or if just the noise itself is very scary because it scares me. I don't know. But she's terrified of it, and she's dealing with it a lot better now. Like, she will eat after the shock is gone and whatnot, but it used to take her days to eat after she would hear gunshots. Or at least one day. Now it's a couple minutes, and she will eat. If you have like something really special, she will eat it. But she will still be terrified, and she will not want to do anything else. She listens now, which is great. So if I tell her to come or to sit or stay, she will do that. She will not like to do it, and you have to repeat it. She will not perform as well, of course, because she's terrified. But she listens, which is also something she didn't used to do. But you can just sense and like literally feel like she shivers. She's like really shaking. And she does this for hours on end. Like today, the first time we heard the gunshots, she was shaking for an hour or two. And then the second time around, a couple hours later, she was again shaking for at least half an hour. Excuse me. I need to have a sip of coffee. Mm. So yeah, and it was it just reminded me of how far she's come along, and in another sense how similar we are. I always say that Dora and we both have PTSD, and we're both like, Dora is just my spirit animal, scared and afraid and pretends to like everyone, but really she just wants to be alone. Like, we're very similar in that way. She's very cheerful and happy, and she's always been like that. But if you don't look, she's just gonna try to get away from you. And, she's always tried to be like cute and friendly, and, but it only holds for so long, and eventually she's just exhausted, and it's so reminiscent of myself. And you might think, oh, well, I'm just interpreting this. I'm looking at my dog and I'm interpreting my own personality into her. But a lot of those things I didn't know for a very long time, that I was actually doing that. I didn't have the words for it to describe myself like this until I was diagnosed with PTSD. But I was describing my dog for years like this, long before I was diagnosed. So I was actually, I was diagnosing my dog with PTSD and, severe trauma and all those issues, while myself having PTSD and all of those issues. And so, yeah, I guess we were meant to be, and she's like my spirit animal, and we're like both very similar, which is great in a sense because I understand her. I don't know how far she understands me just because she's a dog, but yeah, it's really nice. And I think this is one of the reasons why she has this natural understanding of my anxiety, I guess. At least that's what it feels like. Obviously we do a lot of training, or as much as I can do. So she's there to support me when I have my anxiety attacks, if I'm out somewhere I can't walk or whatever, and she protects me, and she's there to, create an anchor in reality so that I don't just drift off completely. And she's, just her being there and, having that touch that I wouldn't want from a human, because it could be comforting, but it might as well be even more terrifying, and it really depends on the day. It doesn't even depend on the person, it depends on the day for me, And so I couldn't, people have asked me, oh, what can I do? Do you want to be touched? Do you want to be comforted? Do you want to be left alone? And I only say, it really depends. And I couldn't tell you. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like that. But what I know is that, the contact with my dogs, with my dog or with the cats, has never had a negative impact. It might be annoying in a moment if a certain kitty is being very annoying because she always wants to climb onto your lap and she never goes, and she purrs so loudly and then she claws at you because she's happy, and it's cute in a sense that she loves cuddling with you, but it's painful at times. But besides that, I've never had any negative associations, and so it's always comforting, it's always helpful, especially when you're outside and, you're just crying. There are times when I'm outside, I'm going shopping, and I'm like, okay, I need to sit down, I'm losing my ability to stand, and I'm gonna cry now. It's not like, oh, maybe I know I'm gonna cry. I can try to fight against it, but it's just gonna have even worse negative consequences later along. And the only benefit to it is that people are not gonna think that I'm weird, or it's gonna make people feel less discomfort. But I'm far beyond that point where I'm like, oh no, what are people gonna think? And oh, I don't want to inconvenience anybody, and I don't want to make them feel bad. No, I'm feeling bad right now, and I'm gonna live that out because then I'm gonna feel better afterwards. So I sit down, and Dora just gives me that comfort. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. It was just a reminder of how similar we are and how far Dora has has come in the past 4 years. And I don't know, it's like this hopeful story, because I'm the reason Dora's feeling better. Obviously, Dora has done a lot of work, but I'm the one that guided her. And I'm the one that learned about it. And now those things that I've learned to help her overcome her trauma is literally now helping me. And another really sweet thing is kind of that, I helped Dora with her PTSD, and now Dora is helping me with my PTSD. So I don't know, it kind of glues us together, even though there are times where I'm thinking I have to give her up, I have to bring her to a shelter. Like, I need to have a proper service animal that can do those things, because I can't leave her outside all the time, because it has happened on multiple occasions that people, because she's so sweet and she's so, such a good dog, and just looks like the saddest thing and most pitiable thing ever, that people will just take her. Like, if I go grocery shopping, I've had a couple of times, or if I'm in a bakery and I just use the restroom and she's tied outside, like, people will just take her and try to leave with her and steal my dog. And it has happened, and it's really traumatized me. And it's really scary, which is the main reason why I wanted Dora to become a service dog, because most things she already provides. She provides that help that I need to go places, right? So that's the most important thing, because otherwise I can't go anywhere, because I'm terrified of the journey. And once I'm there, it would be nice if I could take her into the grocery store and whatnot, but typically there are things that can kind of distract me. With doctor's appointments, it's a little different, because if it's a male doctor, it's just so uncomfortable. I hate it. I have just the most horrific pictures in my head. And it's just very uncomfortable. It feels like I'm being raped. And, like, I'm honest, if a male doctor touches me, it feels like rape. And if it's a gynecologist, it's like, to this point, I've just had a very standard appointment with a male gynecologist. And I still remember it to this day, even though I've only been there twice in my life. I still remember it, and it's like a traumatic experience for me. And he's done nothing wrong. Like, he was really sweet, really nice. But to this day, I'm still traumatized by it. Just because he was a man. So, for me, going to a male doctor is something where I would prefer it if I could take Dora with me. But sadly, I have to leave her outside. And then there's, like, always this concern. So at the moment, I just don't go to the doctor. But hopefully that would change. So yeah, that was kind of all I wanted to talk about today. About how my dog and I are basically the same person. I don't know. I'm just so proud of her. She's done such great things in the past couple of years, and she's come so long, and it kind of gives me hope that, I can achieve that too, because in the end, it was my effort. So why not? Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening. I'm very grateful, and I hope you'll have a wonderful weekend. If you're listening to this on a weekend, well, for me it's Saturday, so yeah, have a beautiful day or evening or whatever, and stay healthy. Goodbye.